Ladies and gentlemen, it's time once again for some more League of Legends action. My name is CaptainFlowers, and I will be shoutcasting yet another high ELO match here in the North American SoloQ rank ladder. We've got Darius and Karma in the top lane, we got Lee Sin and Sejuani in the jungle, Ahri and Annie at mid, Kalista and Lucian on AD carry, and Janna and Braum rounding out the teams on support. Hopping into this one here at just the 2-minute mark, got in before any of the action actually started, so we're going to be able to see every juicy tidbit. Here in the mid lane, we got Annie and Ahri, two powerful burst mages. Annie normally considered a pretty hard counter to Ahri. Ahri likes to dash around, manipulate the distance between herself and her opponents, make use of all the different space she can create with all those different dashes and mobility techniques with the low cooldowns. Annie just has none of that whatsoever, drops the Tibbers on her, 100-0, game over. If either one of these two gets ahead, it's going to be a nightmare for the other one to have to deal with. Here in the bot lane, Kalista and Janna versus Lucian and Braum. Lucian and Braum, a team that's capable of bullying around the other side in the lane pretty hard. However, if the other side can manage to kite them around, can manage to poke them, abuse Lucian's low range, they're going to be able to take advantage of that and not get bullied around too hard. Both of these AD carries are very slippery. They're close range, but they've got a lot of dueling and boxing and scrapping potential. They're the kind that likes to get up in your face and not just sit back and poke all day. So we're going to likely see a lot of action down here as well. Top side, we've got the current biggest bully in the game, Darius, but right now we're going to have to put that on the back burner. Lee Sin showing up bottom. Just going to throw a little bit of damage out onto Lucian. Not going to find anything else other than that for now. But top side, we do have Darius, one of the biggest bullies in the game right now. He's got a lot of damage. He's got a lot of heal on that Q. But Karma, traditionally one of the best champions in the game for dealing with these pure melee champions. She's got the ability to stun them when they come after her, throw the shield on herself, and then zone them away with that Q. So we're going to have to see if this is truly the pick that's going to be able to shut Darius out of the top lane, or if he's going to be performing like he has been in so many games lately, where you come to try to gank him, he just 1v2s you. You try to 1v1 him, you can't get rid of all the healing that Decimate does as long as he can hit you with the blade. Braum and Lucian going aggro onto Kalista here in the bot side. Winner's Bite's going to land, but not quite enough to proc the stun here yet. Sejuani and Lee Sin, neither jungler making too many big plays here yet. Darius going to find that pull onto Karma, getting some damage onto her. She's forced to retreat, not able to stun him up. He just walks away from that one with a 1 trade in hand. Lee Sin positioning aggressively up here in the top side, wants to try to see if they can pick Karma off. It's especially powerful in solo queue if you can pick someone off as you have that bigger wave shoving into their turret. Makes it that much easier to make them miss all those creeps as well, set them that much further behind. Braum and Lucian continuing to play aggro here in the bot side, using that lane bully power that I talked about. They're able to zone Kalista away. Kalista doesn't have the ability to outtrade Lucian's burst early on, especially with that Winter's Bite combo and stun potential showing up right there beside it. Sejuani farming up a little bit harder than Lee Sin is. She's already gone back, already bought that jungle item. The difference between the jungle item and machete is actually pretty big between these two, simply because if they're both just walking around their jungles farming, Sejuani's going to be getting a lot more gold for that. Lucian and Braum aggro once again. The ignite being dropped onto Kalista. The stun is there, but they're not going to be able to find the kill. Darius going aggro onto Karma in the top side. He's got 4 bleed stacks, but with Sejuani here and the ignite dropped on him, he's got to be very careful. Another Decimate's going to be what he needs to heal himself, but it's going to be first blood going over to Karma. The red side top laner going to be grabbing the first kill of the game for herself with the assistance of her jungler. Lee Sin showing up top to try to avenge his teammate, but it looks like he will manage to succeed if he can escape the clutches of Sejuani. It's going to be Janna picking up a kill onto Braum in the bot side. We're going to go back and take a look at that as soon as we finish watching this 1v1 top. It is going to be Lee Sin going down to the power of the Sejuani. A 2-for-2 overall. Going to go ahead and back up so we can watch this situation unfold in the bot lane. Braum and Lucian going very aggressive on Kalista, but then Lucian drops very, very low. It's Braum now defending against Janna, who's trying to secure that kill onto Lucian. Would have needed 1 or 2 more autos, but now it's Braum who's in a lot of danger, and it's going to be the knockup from the tornado that secures him and makes it so they do manage to pick that kill up for themselves. It's going to end up ultimately being a 2-for-2 across the map. Darius now a little bit behind here in this top side. The one thing that they do have going for them is the fact that his teleport is down. So he's not going to be able to go up here and grab all these creeps. The red side going to put a lot of negative stuff, a lot of a giant disadvantage for Darius here in the top side as he loses all those creeps. Not only did he die, he's now losing a lot of experience and a lot of gold that's simply just being eaten alive by the tower. He will be here in time to absorb a good chunk of it, but he still lost a good chunk as well. So that's something that Karma's got going for her. It's something she's happy to see happening here. Darius going for a very defensive early build. Usually you're going to see him want to start with that black cleaver. It's a one-and-done type offensive item for him, where he buys that and then he can just get straight tanky and still do enough damage to pose a huge threat to the enemy lineup. However, this time against the ranged lane opponent, against the power that Karma has against these pure melee champions, he's going for a more defensive build at the start. Likely going to see these items build into a Spectre's Cowl, or he may just be going for the Null Magic Mantle, and then that Health Crystal could be built into a Black Cleaver anyway. Braum and Lucian, once again, the Winter's Bite finds Callista. Piercing Light is there. The auto attacks are following it up, and they are going to be able to secure the kill this time. She will not be able to walk away with just a sliver again. 3-2 now the team score. The red team just up a couple hundred gold here at the 6.5-minute mark as action erupts all across the map. We saw Annie go very hard on Ahri there in the mid lane just a few moments ago as well. She no longer has the Tibbers available. Ahri having to use that Spirit Rush to evade the death as well, so neither one of these mid laners with an ultimate that they're able to use. But Braum and Lucian going to find a dive onto Janna, orchestrating it well, making sure that nobody died to the tower aggro and still picking up the kill. It's going to be Sejuani in the mid lane. She finds the ultimate onto Lee Sin and Ahri. Lee Sin drops very low, and he is going to be the first casualty of this fight. The Annie expending the Ignite onto him, so she's not going to have the resources to pick up the Ahri kill, but that is another freebie pickup here for the red side. 5-2 now the score as Darius finds another pull onto Karma. She's not able to find the root. There's the tether. She'll be able to stun him up, and she does get the better of him in that trade. This is proving to be a pretty solid counter pick here, coming out on this red side to deal with the Darius lane oppression that so many champions have such a difficult time dealing with. Annie and Ahri, both very low HP, daring each other. Who's going to be able to make the play here? Who's going to catch the other one off guard? Neither one of them having the ultimates available, but what Annie has to respect is the fact that Ahri does have her Ignite available if they should get into a 1v1 here. Darius continuing to push topside. Although Karma can win the trades, she needs Darius to go aggressive first. She can't just walk up to him and try to tether him, or she'll get pulled. She needs to have him pull, walk away, use the tether, use the shield, and then counter-initiate and win the trade that way. So it's still up to Darius to dictate the tempo and the momentum of the lane. Braum and Janna both roaming towards mid. They both have the same idea. They both see those low HP mid laners, and they're just going to trade a couple support blows back and forth here. A little bit of a wet noodle fight. Darius going to find that pull onto Karma. A Decimate may need to come out, but he will not be able to find it. Karma landing both parts of that Empowered Q, getting some nice damage out onto the Dunk Lord. Red team up 1,500 gold here. 8.5 minutes into the game. No attention turned yet onto this dragon. The red team bottom lane is playing so aggressive. They're constantly trying to shove in their opponents. They're constantly making sure they control the lane. So they will be able to make a play onto this dragon soon if they continue that. Lee Sin picking up the kill onto Annie in mid. Sejuani nearby, but not able to do anything about it. Callista very, very low mana. The red side continuing to pressure her, trying to make something happen here. It's going to be Darius using the flash in the top lane to get on top of Karma, but with the tether going down, the kill potential is not very high. Janna barely surviving Illusion and Braum aggression under her own turret, but she will drop to the final tick of that Ignite. It's going to be this red side bot lane once again picking up a kill for themselves and dominating the bottom half of the map. 14,000 gold now under this red team's belt, almost 13,000 for the blue side. Darius beating Karma just slightly in the CS department. Junglers are about 10 apart. Mid lane, dead even, as Lucian takes about a 10 CS advantage in the bot side as well. Not that bad for Callista considering how far in control the red team has been down here. It's going to be Lee Sin bot side. He finds the kick onto Braum, but he's taking a lot of damage from Lucian in return. Callista trying to get that rend, but it's going to be Lucian who survives. The chilling smite from Lee Sin comes down, but it's not enough to smite him away. Lucian going to survive and heal himself up with that heal. They're still pressuring bot side. They just got ganked. They had already killed the support earlier, but they don't care. They want to make sure that this waves into the tower. The Callista doesn't have the opportunity to just back whenever she feels like it, and now they're going to be able to back up. Now they're going to be able to get more items for Lucian. He's just 70 gold off of that BF sword. They're paying the Gromp. They're going to go pick that up first. The difference between being able to pick that up and not being able to is absolutely huge, and Lucian wants to make sure that when he comes back to this lane, he has that power spike ready and raring to go. Mid lane, Annie has the stun ready. She's got that 15 CS advantage over Ahri, and that's likely only going to continue to grow more and more. Now that Annie's got that level 6, the Flash Tibbers is such a huge threat that Ahri always has to be aware whenever Annie's coming up, whenever Annie positions aggressively. Ahri has to be very, very concerned about the implications of that, about what it could mean if she gets Flash Tibbers. If she's anything less than 100% HP, or even if she is 100% HP and Annie has both summoners, she could potentially die if she makes one little misstep. Sejuani showing up top. This is a weakness of Darius. If he pushes up too far, he's got no way out. Going to try to drop the Decimate to heal himself, but he's already full HP. The red team going very aggressive. They drop the Ignite on towards him, but they have to be aware of the Decimate heals. He's going to manage to get one. However, the Ignite will stop him from being able to trigger that heal. to its maximum extent. Going to be the red team picking up another kill for themselves onto Darius. He's got that Spectre's Cowl, but it's still not enough to resist all the damage coming out of these two. Braum rotating up middle once again, trying to make the plays happen elsewhere. They've dominated bot lane so hard. Lucian's now sitting in a wonderful position compared to Kalista. Braum does not have to worry about Lucian being able to deal with her in a 1v1 scenario. The culling going to come out. Lucian just using this as a powerful zoning tool, forcing Kalista off of her own turret, making her miss this CS. Lee Sin top lane trying to just hold the wave against Karma, taking a lot of poke in return, but at the same time protecting that tower of his. Annie and Ahri continuing to just trade spells here in the mid lane. Ahri just wanting to clear this out. No roams coming out yet from Ahri this game. Normally a champion that once she hits that level 6, the mobility provided by her ult encourages her to roam around like crazy as Braum and Lucian find the ultimate onto Kalista, and she's deleted by the time she hits the ground. An excellent fissure from Braum. They hit her just outside of her line of sight. They knock her up into the air. The Lucian combo comes forward, and with that BF sword I was talking about, he's got the damage to just burst her down from right where she stood. Very well played from the red side, staying out of vision, finding when she was going to be standing still, just CSing with no care in the world, and they take her down. Very well played here from the red side. They're going up over 4,500 gold at just the 12-minute mark. A substantial lead for this red team. They've got a 1-tower lead. They've got a 6-kill lead. The one thing they don't have to work with is this dragon. However, if we take a look at the vision game they've got wards here in the enemy jungle, all around this enemy red buff. They've got the pink ward up in the river as well. They're very, very well set up in terms of vision to be able to make an aggressive play onto this dragon soon. They've got that bottom tower down. If they can manage to take this middle one down, or they might not even need to worry about it. If they can just go for dragon soon, they'll likely be able to pick it up almost uncontested. Ahri Charm going to miss onto Annie. They will not be able to find the damage there, and with Braum nearby, the pursuit is going to stop with that. Sejuani waiting off in the wings. Should the red side be able to find a pick onto a value target like Ahri or Kalista or Lee Sin, any one of those three goes down, the red team's easily going to position for this dragon and take it, no worries. On the other side of the coin, if the blue team can manage to get a pick, manage to turn one of these engagements around, they could grab a dragon, and that could be their ticket back into the game. It looks like the red side is not worried about trying to remove the blue team's ability to contest this. They're not worried about getting into a big 4v4 type fight because they're confident in their ability to just take that dragon here at the 13-minute mark and secure it for themselves. The first one in the game. They're up 4,000 gold and a dragon now as Karma positioning very aggressive against Darius, but she's going to get pulled, walking away from that decimate, using the speed boost. And this is the power of Karma, just the most annoying champion in the world for a pure melee, no gap closer type of hero. It looks like Darius, with the help of Janna, might finally find some damage onto her. The Janna Monsoon going to be used very offensively to just knock Karma backwards towards the blue side with Lee Sin top as well. It's going to be Karma flashing away. She's got the shield onto herself, but the Darius flash dunk. Going to make sure she doesn't get away with it. Braum now rotating top, trying to see if he can do anything to help his ally, but it's too little, too late. Walking away now, Sejuani here to help him, but at this point, she's just going to have to cover his retreat. Mid lane, Ahri using her ultimate, but not being able to find anything. She does manage to escape Annie's wrath. Annie using both summoners and the Tibbers as well. Sejuani now going to be pulled into 3, but the red team is here with the follow-up with Annie rotating over. It's going to be Lee Sin, who's the first one to fall in this engagement, and now Darius running away, but it's into enemy territory. He's got 2 pursuing him, but he has the power of that decimate. If he can manage to land the heals, Braum going to drop the ignite and make sure that those heals are not more than his team is capable of dealing with. Sejuani flailing that northern wind, and she does manage to set Lucian up for the kill. The red side gonna find 2 more kills for free on this blue team. They managed to make the play onto Karma in the top side, but positioning so aggressively, seeing these red team members, seeing the Braum and the Sejuani in their jungle, they just see red. They've got that tunnel vision, and they stay way too long. The blue team not capable of making the plays come out in the end for themselves. They have a wonderful initiation, and then they just overstay, and it doesn't end up working out for them. It's risk versus reward. The chance of them being able to kill Braum or Sejuani there was actually very, very low, just due to the tankiness of those champions, due to the fact that Braum still had the ultimate up and then dropped it as Annie was rotating over. So the blue side getting caught off guard, red team playing it well, the jungler and the support, making sure that they keep the blue team's attention long enough for their team to rotate over, while also keeping themselves safe and making sure that they don't give anything up. Janna and Braum going to run into each other once again, just trading those blows back and forth, trying to sweep each other's wards away and see where they can be helpful, see if they can give their team an edge anywhere on the map. 15.5 minutes into the game as Karma still abuses Darius here in the top lane. She was playing back early on, but now she realizes how far in control of this lane she is. She can just keep throwing those Qs out over and over and over, poking him, and there's very little he can do to stop her. Even if she gets pulled, she drops the tether, she drops the speedy shield, and she just walks away from him. There's nothing he can do about it. Karma up to an almost 20 CS lead over her counterpart now. Annie up only 8 over Ari, as Lucian is up 13 over Callista. Not that much of a lead in the CS department for these AD carries, especially considering how hard Lucian's been winning this. When you compare a 5-0 AD carry to a 0-2 AD carry, you normally expect to see that farm difference be way more than a 13. So very, very, very well done on Callista, keeping it such a small difference, all things considered. Lucian, however, with Infinity Edge completed, almost having Yumu's Ghostblade done as well, Callista having the pieces of a Blade of the Ruin King, there's absolutely no comparison between the power levels of these two right now. Lucian posing a huge damage threat to whoever he finds down the barrel of his gun, while Callista still struggling to find the damage output she's going to need to be doing in this mid-game. Sejuani diving in deep. She finds the ultimate onto 3, but it's going to be Callista escaping, saving her support as well, throwing Janna back in, using her as that CC. It's going to be Annie, the first one to go down, as Lee Sin finds the kill. Sejuani goes way too deep. She baits her mid laner in, and it's going to be the blue side. This might be one of the throws that they were looking for, as they managed to pick up 1 kill for free. They've got 5 mid-middle, and they're likely going to be able to at least threaten this tower. The Sejuani ultimate is down. The Braum ultimate is down. The Lucian ultimate is down. Red team not only lost their mid laner, they expended a lot of resources. It's going to be the Darius dunk that finds Sejuani, as Lee Sin barely escapes. The blue side making the plays happen, making the plays work, and showing that they're not out of this game just quite yet. Karma takes down the blue side outer top lane turret in the meantime, making it so that the red team doesn't completely lose out in this scenario. They are still almost 5,000 gold ahead here at the 17.5 minute mark, but compared to the fact that 5 minutes ago they were 4,500 behind, they've stopped losing money at such an accelerated rate. The bleeding hasn't 100% gone down, but they're not consistently falling behind anymore with that series of plays that just transpired. The blue team keeping themselves afloat in this game, but they've still got a long way to go. It's an uphill battle. They're playing from behind. They need to continue to allow red team to make those kinds of mistakes and capitalize on them. Lee Sin, speaking of mistakes, going to underestimate the power of the Grump and end up falling victim to that jungle frog. It's going to be another 25 seconds before he respawns. Luckily for him, Dragon not going to be spawning here for another minute, so he will be up and ready to go in time for that. It might just be one that the blue team decides to let go. Red team already having their first dragon. The second dragon not nearly as much of a big deal, simply because of the fact that the buff doesn't help you in combat with other champions. So the blue team, if they feel they're behind enough, may just be willing to let this one go, try to continue farming up, and take a fight later, try to force a fight on an objective or something where they feel like they have a better chance of winning instead of a straight-up 5v5. Annie rotating down bottom to try to just farm it up a little bit. Tankier builds coming out on both of these mid laners. A lot of times you're going to see an Annie just go with a full offensive build, starting with a Morello Namicon or a Luden's Echo. This time going with that old school Season 1, Season 2 Rod of Ages build, gives her more health, makes it so it's very hard to initiate on her and just blow her up immediately, almost ensures she's going to get that Tibbers burst off, even if she gets initiated upon. Ari going with that Abyssal Scepter first item, undoubtedly just to deal with that 100-0 insta Tibbers threat. Red team positioning up around this dragon just like they did the first time. They've got a lot of vision around the backside of it. They're going to know when blue team rotates over, if they do it all, to try to stop this. And it looks like it's going to be another red team dragon uncontested. The blue side still needing to do a lot of catch-up work. They're down 5,500 gold now. The red team managing to continue to extend this lead, and they're going to be able to do that even further with the second dragon of the game being picked up almost exactly 6 minutes after the first one. Lucian now with that Infinity Edge and Ghostblade completed. The Ghostblade, such a powerful item on Lucian, allows him to not only use it in the traditional means, but to also use it and then activate the culling, giving him both movement speed and bonus bullets coming out of that ultimate due to the extra attack speed that the active on the Ghostblade gives. So Lucian going to be even more of a damage threat than he already was in these team fights, thanks to that. Callista now having Blade of the Ruin King. She's on the board. She has the ability to kite around and do a lot of damage. Darius going to take down this outer turret for the red side top lane, but now he's got to try to get himself out of here. But with 3 members from red team collapsing top lane, including the now 6-0 Lucian, it's curtains for Darius. Annie going to find Janna, catching her out in her own jungle. However, Callista with the save, going to throw Janna back out. It's going to be Ari and Lee Sin here as well. It's a 4v1, and Annie's in a lot of trouble. They will manage to pick her up. A kill going over to Callista. She's on the board as Braum now the target of the blue side aggression. Sejuani and Lucian trying to rotate over. This could break into a much larger fight. Sejuani going to initiate it with the ultimate, and it will be Lucian dashing away from the piercing light, but still dying to Sejuani in the end. Kalista now very aggro onto Lucian. If she can manage to pick up this kill, the blue team will be able to pursue this 100%. They will grab the shutdown. That's 500 gold onto Kalista, and that's exactly what she needed. Ahri now flashing over the wall. She wants Braum. She wants Sejuani, and it's going to be Braum who goes down to the charm into the Spirit Orb. Sejuani now in full retreat. She has no way to deal with this blue side pursuit, and it will be the blue team coming out on top in this exchange. They lose Darius, they lose Lee, but they pick up 3, including the shutdown on the 6-1 Lucian. The red team was up almost 6,000 gold before that engagement. They're now only up 3,500. So a 2,000 gold gap close for this blue side here. That's the power of grabbing those shutdowns, the power of being able to take advantage of those misplays, that over-aggression coming out here from the red side. Darius with Spirit Visage completed as his first item, keeping him nice and tanky against the unreal amount of magic damage coming out of this red team. They've got the double AP comp. They've also got the AP jungler. So he's got a lot of damage he's going to be mitigating with that item. Also allows him to heal even further from the Decimate procs. So he's going to be very, very difficult to kill if he can get in the middle of everyone and just be that huge disruptive force that he wants to be in team fights. Working now on that Black Cleaver or perhaps a Sterak's Gauge. Could be either one based on the items he's got. And it's going to be Janna walking into Lucian and Braum. That's not what she wanted to see as she went to ward. She's going to get picked off for free, and now Kalista needs to do what she can to get away from here, but the Winter's Bite is going to land. She's going to try to use the flash and the heal to keep herself alive, but the culling just pouring so much damage out. The Lucian flash wasn't even necessary, but he wanted to make sure, and that's going to be another kill going over to him. 8-1 now on this red side ADC, and he is a force to be reckoned with for whoever ends up in his sights. No one very tanky yet to deal with him on the blue side either. Again, Darius rushing magic resist. Speaking of Darius showing up into the mid lane with Ahri, going to flash forward. He's going to find the pull. Ahri there as well. The Spirit Rush being used, and the dunk goes out onto Karma. Annie rotating over, but it might not be in the best of positions. Braum going to drop that fissure, trying to keep her alive, and Darius missed dunks onto Braum, trying to go for Annie. Braum now dropped low. Annie dropped low, but it's going to be the Braum Ignite that finishes off Ahri as the Sejuani ult rotating in now finds both Darius and Lee Sin. Lucian in the backdrop, now trying to collapse, deliver the damage, and they will manage to pick up the Dunk Lord. It's a 2-for-0 so far. 2-for-1, excuse me, as Karma did end up going down at the onset of the fight. Red team now turning these bad situations into better situations. The blue team has to just try to take advantage of these fights like they found on Karma, where Lucian's not around. They can punish the rest of red team and then disengage before the big man shows up. Lee Sin trying to just land those Qs onto Lucian, but at this point, Lucian's just hoping that he'll press that Q again, come into his range so that Lucian can remove him as a factor. Lee Sin tried to juke him out, pressing that resonating strike, but then just using the safeguard to return to his ally. 17-10 now the team score. 3 towers to 1, 2 dragons to 0. 39,000 gold to 34,000 gold. It's the red team still in the driver's seat, but the blue team is not letting them run away with it. Red side just going to go ahead and pick up that Scuttle Crab. The next dragon will be spawning here in about 2 minutes. This is a more important one. We're going back to the combat stats dragon yet again. First and third dragons are usually more important to fight for, giving you those in-combat stats. Second and fourth one just giving you the damage against minions, damage against towers. It's useful for pushing, but it's not going to determine whether or not you win a fight. So this first and third dragon, usually the ones that are the more important ones, the movement speed going to play a big role. If the red team can manage to get it, going to give them the ability to kite away the Darius, to close the distance on that Kalista. So the blue team may actually choose to fight for this one if they can get in position for it. But if you look at the vision that the red team has set up around this dragon pit, it gets more and more impressive with every single dragon attempt. They've got so many wards up in the blue side jungle. They know if anyone in blue team is in their side of the jungle, the red team sees it. And it's absolutely going to secure them this dragon because the blue team's going to be on the approach and they're going to be able to set up that Glacial Fissure, set up the Sejuani ultimate, and make it so that the blue team has no good way to initiate that fight. Blue side just going to go ahead and pass this blue buff off over to Ahri. Still 40 seconds before the dragon shows up, and the red team positioning very aggressively in the blue side jungle now. Sejuani going to find this ward, so they will not be able to get the drop on the blue side quite yet. However, Ahri pushed up very far, and it's going to be Lucian looking to try to find something here. He pops the Ghost Blade, he pops the Culling. Lee Sin going to throw the Sonic Wave out, but is just trying to scare him away at this point. Lucian ultimate is down. That's a pretty important cooldown to not have available for this dragon fight. But at the same time, the blue team not positioning like they're confident in this fight. They're playing very far back. They know they're behind, and they may just give this dragon up no contest once again, rather than risk the lost team fight. off the back of it. Callista going to use that Rin to secure the red buff for herself as Janna gets initiated on by the Annie, using the Monsoon to try to disengage it. It's going to be Karma from the back as the blue side gets Darius in the middle of everyone. That's a big decimate, but with Janna already dead and Callista following her, the red team is in control of this fight. It's a double kill for Annie as the blue side can't find the damage. It's Darius and Ahri running for their lives as Lee Sin tries to pick up someone, but all he finds is certain death. It's Darius dropping down to just a quarter of his HP as both red team mages pursue him. It's going to be Lucian with the piercing light. It's a quadra kill for Annie. Can the red team get her the penta? The Winter's Bite is going to come out, but the flash from Ahri is going to keep her safe for the time being, and the red team comes up absolutely huge. Blue side not being able to answer the damage on this red team composition. Sejuani comes up with that pentakill KS at the very end. A climactic fight ending in the most anticlimactic way imaginable. If only Annie could have got the penta. SoloQ woes. GG, please report my jungler. All those wonderful things that are surely being typed in the chat right now. But the red team coming up absolutely massive in that fight. Annie blowing the initial Tibbers onto the Janna. Janna Monsoon being used almost immediately. Darius finds himself in the middle of everyone, but it's just not enough. There's no damage here on this blue side yet. Neither one of the carries are far ahead. Ahri's 1 and 2, Callista's 2 and 4, and they're building more defensively. Callista has this Blade of the Ruined King into Hurricane, typical Callista itemization that's not got the damage output of a more standard Static Shiv Infinity Edge combo. Ahri, with the Riley's Crystal Scepter and the Abyssal Scepter, these are kiting, disengaging, poking type of more defensive utility-based items. This isn't a Death Cap, Morello Nomicon type build. So the blue side is having trouble finding damage to get through these red team health bars in time. They're very, very tanky in terms of what you're dealing with Sejuani and Braum, and then the damage that comes out from Annie, who does have a death cap, and from Lucian is just too much. The initiation going to happen now. Blue side going in very deep onto Sejuani. It's going to be the ultimate landing onto Lee Sin. He's dropping very low. He does manage to get away, but Annie will be able to pick him up. It's Lee Sin and Darius both dead as Braum dropping very low. Still survives in the backdrop. Red team up 2-0 so far. Lucian going to flash the charm, finding the damage onto Callista, and it's going to be that Ardent Blaze that picks her up. A double kill for Lucian. 3 kills going over to the red side, and the blue team loses another fight. 10-25 now. 40.8 thousand gold to 48.3 thousand gold. The red team still in control. They've been in control the entire game, but now they're starting to really shut the blue side out. Everything the blue team trying to do being answered by the red side. They keep Braum alive. They win the team fight. They counter-initiate it wonderfully. And this AoE Wombo combo of Glacial Fissure, Glacial Prison, and Tibbers is way too much for the blue team to be able to deal with right now. Lucian, Karma, and Annie going to be able to take this tier 2 tower as Lucian, dash, auto, half of Janna's health bar instantly gone. So difficult to deal with this 11 and 180 carry right now. He's got the Blade of the Ruined King as the third item, giving him that extra kiting potential, giving him that extra lifesteal, and he's just even harder to deal with at this point. Trying to get through the front line, trying to get through all the peel and the burst that this red team has is very, very difficult, and the blue team at this point can't really try to take these 5v5 fights anymore. They've got to try to find a pick. They've got to try to find a very, very advantaged fight. You can't play fair when you're this far behind. And the red side is dominating. Ward's still positioned very, very heavy around the blue side bottom jungle. Sejuani trying to flank the Janna and the Ahri. Here she's going to throw the ultimate out and is going to completely whip. Callista finding a lot of damage onto Karma, but she's now going to find herself eating all that flame from Annie. It's going to be kills onto the support and the 80 carry on the blue side. Karma barely keeping herself alive, but that's what Karma does. Every ability in her kit useful for keeping herself alive if she tries to get initiated on. The red side going to pick up 2 more for free. 27-10 now the team score. 29.5 minutes into this game as the red team starts closing in on that 10,000 gold lead. Braum and Annie knocking on the door to the base. The first inhibitor turret starts to lose chunks of the health bar. They're not able to take this down very quickly, and they have to be aware of how quick blue team's going to come after them. No home guards on this blue side, though, means that the red team is almost going to take that tower down for free. If they can manage to break the base, that's likely going to be the final nail in the coffin. That is the one thing the blue side still has going for them, is they're not being pressured constantly by any super minions in any one of these lanes. If the red team can manage to bring that advantage into their court, it's going to be very, very difficult for the blue team to stay in this game for much longer after that. Annie now going to find the stun onto Ahri. However, by herself, she's not able to deal with all 3 of these opponents. Braum now flanking in from the side. The Winter's Bite. Glacial Fissure is going to be there. Annie in a lot of trouble. Now the blue team initiating onto her. She's going to miss that stun onto Ahri, and it's going to be the shutdown going on over to the blue team mid laner as the blue team might have finally found the fight they're looking for. It's Lucian bottom, so the blue team can continue to pursue this. It's going to be Sejuani finding the ultimate onto 4, but Kalista finally shows up into the fight. The Janna Monsoon trying to keep her team alive, and it will be Ahri surviving. 2 shutdowns now going over to the blue side, but they're losing their base. Lucian has already taken down the bottom inhib turret, and now he's going for the bottom inhibitor itself as Karma and Braum are just throwing these skill shots out, stopping the ports back, and the blue team has no way to stop Lucian from just taking these objectives. Ahri finally does find herself being able to get back, being able to hopefully stop Lucian from doing this, as the red team picks up yet another death onto their support this time. Blue team continuing to push, trying to go for that tier 2 tower, but they're not going to be able to find any more. The blue team finds 3 kills, 2 shutdowns for themselves, but at the cost of losing their bot lane inhib, the most important inhib in the game. That's the one that creates the most pressure against the Baron pit, and the blue team now has to worry about that. They have to deal with the fact that there's going to be all that pressure on the opposite side of the map, and the red team is going to be looking for Baron. Blue team now almost going to be forced to leave Darius bot side. He is the only one with a teleport mechanic, the only one who can jump that distance from bot side to Baron. They're going to need to leave him bottom to deal with those super minions, and then if red team forces the Baron fight, he's going to have to teleport in and see if the blue team can manage to win it off the back of red team tanking the Baron as well as tanking the blue side aggression. Red team already having 3 members positioned up very close to the pit. Lucian and Karma making their way over as well. This could be very well what they've set their eyes on. They've got the pings all the way on top of the Baron pit. They want to make this happen, and it looks like they're going to start going for it right now. Lucian with that Blade of the Ruin King and all those damage items just shredding through the health bar. It's already half dead. The blue team won't be there in any sort of time, and Baron is going to go down no contest, just like all the dragons have this game. Red team picks it up at the 32-minute mark, 10,000 gold ahead, and they're going to find Darius as a little bit of a congratulations. Braum finding the Winter's Bite. The stun is out onto him, and the red team picks up a kill off the back of the objective, and they're now set to push down the mid lane, take out this second inhibitor turret, which is still very low HP from the previous push that Braum and Annie were able to lay into it just a few minutes ago, and they're going to take their second inhibitor of the game. Without their big front line, the blue team is not going to be able to hold against this red side push. Sejuani will just dive in, throw the ultimate immediately, and crush the blue team if they try to defend this. Going in now very hard onto Kalista. She's not going to drop the ult quite yet. They're saving it. They want to make sure they find a good initiation. Speaking of initiations, it's going to be Annie with the timbers onto Ahri, melting her completely. Kalista now suffering a lot of damage herself. The Ignite is ticking away. Janna trying to save her with the Monsoon. It will be successful, but with Ahri dead, what are their defenses? What are their chances? Lee Sin going to drop now as well. The blue team, having Darius back, are now in a 3v5, but their Nexus towers are melting. Both towers are down. The remaining team members are trying to do what they can, but Janna's going to melt. Darius now the target, the focus of all the remaining red team members. It's a 5 versus 1 as Kalista tries to hold the line, and it's no good. The red team wins it all at the 33.5-minute mark, 32-13, 63.1 to 49.3 thousand gold. GG, well played to everybody involved. What a match. The MVP going obviously over to this Lucian, carrying the game, playing aggro from the start, being able to pick up kill after kill, keeping himself safe, 1 death throughout the entire game. The absolute threat of this game, the one that the blue team could never find an answer for. Thank you, everybody, for watching this cast. Once again, my name is Captain Flowers. I'm an aspiring shoutcaster. If you enjoyed this match, if you'd like to see more like it, please feel free to check out the other videos on the channel. Leave me a message, leave me a comment, let me know what you think, and I'll catch you guys next time.